What's up, guys? Okay, so we are doing another cool recipe here. And I'm excited to share this one with you guys because this was like the first one I tried when Hosstile came out with the blueberry donut protein. I was looking for, I like searched forever for like a blueberry donut protein. And I had came across this one. It looked really good, very like, they were ingredients that I had in the house, which I love. So I didn't have to like go buy a bunch of like things that I typically don't use. So this is something that I can make like anytime I'm like feeling like, hey, I want like, you know, a protein blueberry donut. So for this, I've already got it mixed up for you guys just so that like it's not taking forever to like put it all together like I typically do. So I've got my dry ingredients here. I got my wet ingredients here. I'm also gonna I'm gonna put the recipe in the caption for you guys so you guys can save that and make these yourselves. So we're going to be doing 6 donuts. One donut is 160 calories. And then I've got my little cheat sheet here. Fat is 10 grams, carbs 8 grams, and then 17 grams of protein. So like I said, these are high protein, low carb blueberry cake donuts. So delicious. So let's get the mix in. So in here, I've got 2 eggs and then I've got my Greek yogurt. You can use any kind of fat-free Greek yogurt you want. I use the honey one. I like the honey. I usually do honey or vanilla. I feel like those 2 flavors are a really good mix if you are making something like this. So I've got that in there. And then I've got my almond flour. I've got my 2 scoops of blueberry protein. I've got salt and I've got baking powder in here. So I've got that mixed up. So now what we'll do is I'll take this. The reason why I mix this separately is so that I'm not over whipping when I'm mixing all this together. So it'll give it a better consistency and it will cook a lot better. So let me mix that up. I've already got the oven ready for us. See how it's like all nice and whippy? So that's how you want it, nice and creamy, almost like vanilla pudding. Put it in there. Then looks like that. And they'll just kind of, what are you doing, Grace? She's trying to get my attention. She's got a bone. She like almost throws it. She knows I'll be like, come on. And usually I'll grab it and give it back to her and then she'll do it again. Okay, so we got this nice and mixed together. Like I said, we don't want to over mix it. So then the consistency looks like this. And like I told you guys before, I love almond flour because it just is a really nice texture. It gives it like a nice crunchy taste and it's better for you. So then after we mix wet and dry, we are going to fold in our blueberries. So I always use frozen blueberries. I heat these up before I put these in there because we don't want them frozen in here because it's going to give it, it's got extra liquid obviously, right? So when they're frozen and you're cooking them frozen like that in your mix, it's gonna come out a little funky. And I've made the mistake of doing that before. So learn my lesson, always heat them up if you have frozen blueberries, unless otherwise you have regular blueberries that you just buy in the produce section, you don't need to heat them up. So got those in there just like that. Doesn't need to be too mixed. Always lick it. My favorite part. Okay. So then I'm going to get my little donut pan. So if you have a silicone donut pan, make sure to put it on a baking sheet when you're putting it in your oven. Otherwise, if you have this, you just put it in like that. So I put some spray on there because they can get quite sticky. So I'm just gonna kind of rub it a little bit here. Just like that. Okay guys, and funny story is that before this, I actually recorded this video, but I recorded it wrong. So I'm doing it again. I'm making more donuts. So that's okay though, because then I can show you what they look like. They're really, really good. Okay, anyways, let me get my little saucer thing here. So then what we'll do, got my mix here, and then now we're going to put it in here, and we're gonna fill it to the top. Don't be afraid to overflow your batter into these. Gorgeous. Okay. Let's top it off a little bit more. We'll probably have a little bit left. I think they have like the 8 ones too. I've got more, but I rarely do these. I bought this like 3 years ago, like when protein donuts were like super popular, and really wanted to try it. And I had, you know, tried a recipe, and I just remember it being like not good. It was like rubbery and just like, oh God. And so after the first time I did it, I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't know, maybe like if I find something again, but I really like researched and found this recipe. And like I said, it's really, really good. Delicious. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is these are at 350 in the oven for 20 to 24 minutes. I always put it at the least amount. Like if something says 15 to 20, 30 to 40, like I always do like the 30 or the 15, because at least from that, you can see if they need to be cooked more, right? But like if you cook it at the max, which some people do and have, you know, it ends up burning it or just overcooks. So it's better just to do it the least amount and then keep an eye on it, check it out, and then like, hey, it needs to be cooked a little bit more. But I noticed that the 20 is the perfect touch for this. You don't need to go any more than that, but it just really depends on the oven probably and maybe what you're using. So I'm gonna put these in there. This is how pretty they look. And then 20 minutes, and then I'll take them out. I'll show you guys what they look like. Put my timer on. 20 minutes. These are the ones I made earlier, but I don't want to show you guys because I don't want to ruin it. I want you to be surprised. But I'm gonna clean the kitchen up while those are cooking, and then we'll come back and I will show you guys like what I do. And this time I'm actually using an icing, and I'll show you guys that when I get back, but it's really, really good. And it makes it like, makes it a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing is like calorie wise, what I told you guys is that is not accounted for. So that's just a little extra on the side if you guys want them. And you can eat them by themselves, but if you're just like, hey, I'm making these, and like, you know, it's good to have a balance, have a little icing if you like the icing on there, because I think it tastes really good. I'm not worried about it. You know, I found one that's really, really good, but I'll show you guys. I'm gonna let those cook and then we'll check them out. So I got them out of the oven and they were perfect. They smell amazing. But here's the issue that I did. This is the problem that I did, is I let them cool off for too long. So I learned not to do that from doing this, because the previous ones that I did earlier before I did this video again, and then when I cooked them a couple times before, they came out perfect. So these were the ones that I made earlier. I already put like the icing on them, but see how they look? Like they came out perfect. These ones now, like I said, I left them in too long and they kind of came out like that just because it was hard to get out of the pan that I had. So it was kind of scraping. So it kind of ruined it a little bit, but that's okay. I learned not to let them cool off for too long. Let them cool off just for like a couple minutes and then take them out. And it could be my pan. maybe the silicone would be better. So that's something that we learn doing this, right? Like cooking, it's kind of like, hey, I won't do that next time. But these are still really good. It's just, you're kind of missing a little bit of it. This one got it pretty good. But anyways, they're still good. At least I know. Obviously these ones from earlier turned out perfect. But what I wanted to share with you guys is the icing that I do. So I wanted to find a good icing to put on top. And I was looking at like the frosting, you know, and a lot of the frosting has just like a bunch of crap ingredients in it, filled with tons of sugar and just extra fillers, even though like they're absolutely delicious. I used to buy them years ago and just like pick at it and eat out of the jar itself. But I wanted to find something that was good. So I looked up some recipes as well. There was a recipe that came with this for a frosting, but it just did not sound good. You actually use like protein with it and some other ingredients. And it didn't sound that good. And I'm like, you know what? I really just want some icing. So I found this one. This is by Betty Crocker. And it's just the Hosstile frosting mix fluffy white. And it's one that you just mix in a bowl. You add half a cup of boiling water. You just mix it really, 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 really good for like 5 minutes to where it gives you like that icing firmness. And this one I like is because there's not very many ingredients in here. It's just like some basic stuff, but still kind of has like that sweet icing taste. So for 2 tablespoons, it's 35 calories. Carbs are 8, sugars are 8. So that's the only thing, but this actually isn't that bad. And we're only putting it on here. You're not just eating tons of it, you know, but still, like I said, if you want to add the icing, you know, it's because you can, and you're like, hey, like, I don't care necessarily about the calories, even though these calories are good compared to other icings. So I highly recommend this. It's really, really good. So I already mixed it up, obviously, and it just looks like this, kind of just like icing you'd put like on a cinnamon roll. And so, I mean, add about like 2 or 3 tablespoons. Put it on. So those are your blueberry cake donuts, high protein, low carb. A little sad about that, but I learned, and at least I have these little pretty guys right here. But that's it, guys. Super simple. Like I said, the preparation is probably just the longest. Put it together, and then putting in the oven is easy. Let it sit in there for about 20 minutes is the perfect number. But when you take it out, let them cool only for a couple minutes and then pull them out. Don't let them do it any longer, otherwise you're gonna get that issue. But super good. I love these. At least now I've got extra. I can give them to some friends, have them try them. Mike and I already had a couple earlier when I made the first batch. So really good. Make sure to save the recipe. Let me know if you'd like them, and if you have any recommendations on other recipes for donuts, any kind of, I guess, yummy recipe that we can make with the protein would be really good. I like to get creative with it all and enjoy like goodies. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you guys soon. Cheers. Still good.